Okay, so first we need to rationalize the denominator. So multiply this by 1 minus cosine x and multiply this by 1 minus cosine x. So it becomes sine x minus sine x cosine x over 1 minus cosine squared x plus 1 plus cosine x over sine x. Now 1 minus cosine squared x is equal to sine squared x, so we can substitute now we can make common denominators and add them. Now this term cancels out and this term cancels out, so we're left with 2 sine x over sine squared x. The sine and the sine cancels out, so it's 2 over sine x, and left side equals right side. Problem, we have to solve it. Cosine 2x is equal to cosine squared x minus sine squared x, so we could substitute that in. Now, sine squared x and sine squared x cancel out, so we have cosine squared x. We have we have cosine squared x minus cosine x equals 0. Both the terms have cosine, so we could pull cosine x out, and we have cosine x minus 1 equals 0. This term, cosine x is equal to 0, and cosine x minus 1 is equal to 1. Now, on the unit circle, this is 1, 0, 0, 1, negative 1, 0, and 0, negative 1. So when x is 0, it's this point and that point. So 90 degrees and 270 degrees, and when x is 1, it's 0 degrees. So the answer is x equals 0 degrees, 90 degrees, and 270 degrees.
Okay, in this question, we are going to solve the right hand side first because it looks more complicated. So we'll start with and then we, instead of putting it down, we put divide 1 minus sec theta, and cos minus 1 minus sec theta is also equal to 1 over cosine, so we can write that to make it equal values. Cosine minus 1 divided by, make the denominator equal, and be cosine minus 1, and then we flip it to multiply. We make a reciprocal of the 1 on the right hand side. Over cosine, and then this cancels out with this, and we are left with cosine theta, which is equal to our left hand side, which is also cosine theta. So hence proved. In this question, we are solving for x. So as we know from our identities, right, sine 2x can also be written as 2 sine x cosine x plus 2 cosine x equals 0. And now we can see as cosine is common in both of the terms, so we'll pull cosine and 2 outside. So we'll take 2 cosine x sine x plus 1 equals 0. So we can say that so it's like 2 cos x equals 0, and then sine x plus 1 equals 0. So cosine x equals 0 and sine x is equal to -1. And then on the unit, unit circle, it's 1 0 0 1, it's -1 0, it's 0 and -1, it's 2 pi over 2 pi 3 pi over 2. And when cosine is 0, it's pi over 2, so cosine x will be equal to pi over 2, which is also equal to 90 degrees. And sine x is equal to -1, and when sine is -1, it's 3 pi over 2, which is equal to 3 pi over 2, which is also equal to 270 degrees.